guys, this is Dan, head brewer at Land Grant Brewing Company. I wanted to thank you guys for purchasing the first of hopefully, but it's many, of our monthly subscription series. So I thought we would taste through these 4 beers, give you guys an idea of what to expect, and just a little bit behind what went to getting these from grain to glass. So first we have Sour Plum Fairy. So sort of the inspiration for this is I did a stint overseas, not in the military, but educationally, and always loved walking around the city streets, and you come across these beautiful patisseries, and you see these pastries that are almost too beautiful to eat. So on a couple beers, I've tried to sort of recreate that, and Sour Plum Fairy is one like that. So you can see it's got that nice, let's say pinkish purple color that you associate with plums. We actually used elderberry to get that color because the plum puree that we got looked more like what you consider an unripe plum. So once we put everything, we're like, oh, that doesn't really look like a plum puree. But we used, I think, equal amounts of peach and plum puree, and just tried to recreate the effect of peach plum tart that you might see in a patisserie window. A little bit of vanilla in this, not enough to pop up and smack you in the face with it, but just enough to give like a backbeat, the same way as you would use vanilla in like any type of bakery dessert. Check that. I got quite a bit more vanilla on that than I thought we did last time, but yeah, it's not overly tart. I think the vanilla is part of that. It wipes your palate clean at the end of it. You get quite a bit of the plum, and the peach just kind of helps round things out. We are very happy with how it turned out. It's very nice to have a sort of winter-themed sour beer that's still very drinkable. Moving on. So Lifty is our Southern Hemisphere hopped IPA. It's we use New Zealand hops in our Pool Party Pilsner, and I always thought it would be really cool to see what would happen if we took the hopping level on something like Pool Party and bumped it up to IPA levels. So that's what we've done here. But I thought just having the Wakatu and the Waimea that we use in Pool Party be a little bit too citrusy and floral. So we added some Raquel, something that we used in the past. It's very peachy and kind of adds a jamminess to this. That just rounds things out a little bit more, makes it a more well-rounded IPA. We did use Pils malt, I think, as a base malt. So really, this is just like a bigger, hoppier version of Pool Party. So if you like that beer, you will like this. It is a little bit different from other IPAs in the sense it's not overly tropical. It's much more citrusy. And I think for the season, obviously during the winter, a lot of citrus fruit is harvested, so it sort of makes sense given the time. Tonight, again, very happy with how this turned out. It is very crisp. It's light for an IPA. Very citrus, very floral. Nice jamminess on the end. I was shooting for something kind of like orange marmalade. It's really not that far away from that. So, Needle Drop. This is our Hazy Pale. So, if you listen to any of the Beers with the Brewers podcast, you know that I usually have a theme or something I'm trying to accomplish with a hop combination. So really wanted to do something with Mandarina Bavaria, which tastes and smells exactly like what you think it would. It's mandarin oranges, but a lot of these New World German hops can be kind of faint So I wanted to pick other hops that would boost the character of that. So we've got a little Chinook for some pininess and just boost citrusy notes in general. Bravo, which is kind of like orange citrus candy, and Citra, which does a lot of things, but in this case, really boosts the perception of citrus fruit. So all of these things, most of the dry hop is Mandarina Bavaria. So that is the feature hop in this, but everything else just kind of serves to lift it up. See, it's quite opaque. It's like the juicy bits of, it's like pulpy orange. You get that little pop of orange in your mouth. I've drank a lot of this. This is great. It's a lot of flavor in a teeny tiny package. So I think it's 5.5%. Sounds right. Yeah, very happy with how that turned out. I'll stop saying that at any point now. So this is an experimental pills that our brewer Justin came up with. But something that we've been wanting to do for a while. There are these American Noble hops, is what it's called, but it is the leftover stuff from cryo hops that we use quite a bit of. So the cryo hops concentrate all of the sort of juicy, bitter compounds. So they're really good for IPAs, but then they've got all this stuff left over, and they didn't know what to do with it. They, in this case, being Yakima Chief hops. So they tried using it for brewing and pelletized it, and noticed that it actually had a lot of character that noble hop varieties from Europe have. But it also retains some of the American character that you get from the source hop. So this has Laurel, Citra, and Simcoe Noble hops. Or, yeah, American Noble is what they're calling it. So it's you get sort of a honeyed, rich malt character from it. I think we used 100%, not 100%, but mostly house malts out of Cleveland. They're Pils malt. Very rich, sweet, grainy, but you get all of the sort of floral and citrus notes from the hops. I played very nicely with that. This was, I think Justin dry hopped this. I'm not sure what rate, but it is, if you like hoppy pills, this really suits the bill. It's got a nice, little bit more of a pronounced bitterness to it. Not overly so, but for a Pilsner, it's got a nice snap to it that I always enjoy this time of year, having Pilsners that have a little bit more of a robust flavor and bitterness to them. At the same time, as, if you can't stand another Christmas spice beer or a stout, this is a nice option for you. So, well, I hope you enjoy tasting through all of these, and come on back and get next month's.